iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in, race fans. Welcome to the 2023 calendar year here for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series presented by the Upstate Racing League. My name is Roger Muth, and alongside me here tonight at the virtual Stafford Speedway, Kelly Dahl. Kelly, welcome to the new year after Christmas and the New Year holiday. This is a whole new year and a whole new format here for the Upstate Racing League.
Yeah, the Upstate Racing League is trying just a little bit of a different format change, just to kind of thin out the numbers. They've decided that letting everyone on these small tracks is just making it a little too crowded, so right now they're just finishing up a heat race that will decide who will be going on to our feature race, but I believe it'll be 26 drivers taking the green flag in our feature tonight.
Yeah, the top 14 finishers from our last race that we had back in 2022, those drivers are locked into the top 14 positions. Then we took 6 drivers out of our qualifying effort that we had a little bit earlier on here this evening, and then 4 drivers, the top 4 out of the last chance qualifier, will take to the starting grid, along with the top 2 highest drivers in our point standings. That will give us a total of 26 drivers to hit the field here tonight for our feature event, brought to us by Carpenter's Tax Service. Well, race fans, it's almost time for our race here tonight, but also, you know what also is almost time for? Well, it's almost time to pay Uncle Sam here if you're in the United States, and there's one place that can help you get all your tax service and preparation done, and that's Carpenter's Tax Service. We thank the Carpenter's Tax Service for being part of the URL here this season and a continued sponsor here for the 12th season for the Upstate Racing League. So with that being said, and it is just about that time here, we have about a minute and 30, I do believe. Well, let's take a look here. Take a look back here at what we just had, our finishing order in that heat race. There is the 11 drivers that competed here in our heat race this evening. Brian Rogers Jr., A.J. Hamill, Michael Tremarthen, and Ellie Musgrave are the 4 drivers that will lock in out of the heat race. We will see who are the other 2 drivers then that will fill out our 26-car field here. But Kelly, it's been a while since these drivers have been onto the racetrack, in competition. We've had a couple weeks off. What are you expecting here tonight at the Stafford Speedway?
I'm expecting a lot of these drivers to be staying low and diamonding these corners. We saw it a lot in the last chance qualifier, if you will, as these guys came in low and kind of washed up in the middle before coming down that the corner to kind of set up the straightaways. And with how tight these corners are, we're going to see a lot of maybe some moves under braking, but I believe they did just announce who our last 2 qualifiers are off of the points, and it is Matt McLean and Brett Bartels.
Well, there it is. That'll make out the 26-car field here tonight. It's been a couple years since we've been here to the Stafford Speedway with the Pro Series. Last time we were here was January the 10th in 2019, the Arts Barbershop 125. It was Chris Stump able to go to victory lane. He is here tonight, I do believe. Along with last time before that, it was all the way back in 2017 for the Arts Barbershop 125. Matt Coker, a champion here with the Upstate Racing League, was the driver to go to victory lane. So we know who the 26-car field is going to be here tonight. Let's take you down here tonight to the starting lineup and get that out of the way. This is your starting lineup here tonight for the Carpenter's Tax Service 100 for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series. Starting on the front row, he is the new daddy himself. It is the driver out of the Empire Racing Team, number 11 of Brian Hacker. To the outside of him, the Attitude Esports, number 31, that'll be Justin Rigsby. Justin Fuller in the Aftermath Motorcourse, number 51, will start there in P number 3. Rodney Hontoon in the 802 entry, he will start there 4th in car number 4. 13 QC, that'll be Guillaume Fortin, he will start right there in the 5th starting position. Chris Stump in the 98 Ohio will start there at 6th. Vernon Woodard, the driver out of Vermont, will start back into the 7th spot. Justin McDuff in car number 20, he will start there into the 8th spot. And the Austin Designs, number 5, will Scott Austin in 9th. Casey Bietti will round out the top 10.
Stephen Rochford in the 66, he'll be rolling off in 11th. Bill Martin to his outside, and will be starting in 12th. Matthew Barkos rolls off in 13th with the 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. to his outside. Brett Hahn going to be starting back in 15th with Dalton Williamson, that one machine, going to be on his outside in 16th. The 88 of Matt Eddy, he rolls off in 17th, and Mike Alexander will be the outside of row number 9. Row number 10, rounding out our top 20, is going to be the 23 of Gary Eschen and Brian Rogers Jr.
The driver starting back into the 21st spot will be the Arts Barbershop number 18 of AJ Hamill. Back in 22nd, Michael Trevarthen. And it will be Ellie Musgrave and Joshua Buckley. Those are the 4 drivers that locked in out of the last chance qualifier. Matt McLean and Brett Bartels will be the 2 drivers that will get in on points. Andy Lambert, Jeremy Carpenter, Justin Coachman, and Rob Higgins were the alternates here tonight, but everybody else did make their way to the starting lineup. So that is what we will go with here tonight as we get ready. We will come here tonight into the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone and kick the tires and light the fire under these fire-breathing super late models here tonight. 26 driver strong as you see him come down the back straightaway 2x2 as the iRacing.com pace car lights are off. We're ready to go. 100 laps here tonight in the Carpenter's Tax Service 100 here for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series presented by the Upstate Racing League. Brian Hacker, Justin Rigsby will be the 2 to fire it off. First green flag is up. We're racing here tonight at Stafford.
And Rigsby getting a great start on that outside line. Got his nose ahead going into that first turn, but that outside line is just not going to have the speed, especially early on. Big slide right behind, and there's contact, the 98 of Chris Stump. He's involved. Lots of cars in the wall. Scott
Austin going around down the back straightaway into turn number 3. AJ Hamill. Ellie Musgrave also going to be collateral damage in this one. Joshua Buckley to the infield grass to try to avoid. Caution flag here. Lap number 1 of the Carpenter's Tax Service 100 here at the Stafford Speedway is being flown here tonight. So the Confusion Performance caution flag for the first time in 2023 has been flown here. Let's take a look back here and look. We know Scott Austin, Chris Stump, and a couple other drivers getting some damage in this one. And there you see Chris Stump a little sideways off the corner. Scott Austin then also up the speedway. Look at the 98 Ohio. Chris Stump try to drift it like he's in Tokyo Drift through the infield. Vernon Woodard also involved in this one. We'll have to watch it back and see what exactly happened here. We'll zoom in here on the Scott Austin Designs number 5 entry. See him, and that's Bill Martin actually to the outside. Martin's gets pinched up against the outside wall.
Yeah, unfortunately for the 5 and the 36, it looked like to be a bit more of net code than anything, because as soon as they made contact, that right rear just got hooked from the 5 car and slammed Bill Martin to the corner. So hopefully Martin doesn't have too much damage. Unfortunately for Scott Austin, though, he got tagged a few more times, and I think there is some heavy damage to that 5 machine.
Yeah, some damage there to the nose cone of the number 23 of Ellie Musgrave as we rode on board there with the Xander Sign Group onboard camera as you saw her come into that mix. So a lot of drivers down the back straightaway scattering to try and find a way around. And, well, that's going to now, of course, bring out that caution flag here for the first time this evening. So caution flag number 1 being flown here tonight on lap number 1 in the Carpenter's Tax Service 100 here tonight at the Stafford Speedway. And, well, we talked about it earlier, Kelly. It's been a long time since we've been here. Now we got the first caution flag out. Think the jitters are going to go away?
That we'll have to just wait and see. I mean, the main thing is that these cars the tires actually are very cold, and I think that was the issue coming off of the corner. We saw a number of drivers getting loose. I was about to make the comment about the 51 of Fuller. He got loose off the corner, but then many more drivers behind him got much worse of it, got sideways, got into each other. So there's been a few cars that are struggling for grip, and hopefully once we kind of get some heat in these tires, they'll be able to get off the corners a bit better.
Well, here we come. We're coming to the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone. The Hanson Starter Shop, a big part of the Upstate Racing League, and of course they are located in the upstate area. Hanson Starter Shop has 30 years of experience in building alternators, generators, and, well, anything that makes it go. They can repair it or get you a new one in stock here as the green flag's back up. We're starting this one back up here tonight. It'll be 5 laps completed. It will be Brian Hacker down into turn 1. Justin Rigsby to the outside. They're funnel in as a couple cars making contact. Around goes the 7-Eleven of Brett Hahn. He will spin to the inside, and we will stay green.
And no caution. Brett Hahn is just in the grass. He's still trying to get out of the grass onto the back straightaways. So unfortunate for him, he's going to lose a ton of ground as we stay green. Brian Hacker leading the field into turn 1, mostly single file now as everyone's trying to find that bottom groove.
Everybody goes single file. Sideways for the number 39 there. That is the doctor. He got a little sideways. Bill Martin, he was able to gather it up. And now behind him, Matthew Barkhouse and the number 73 of Vernon Woodard currently side by side. The first side by side battle. Joe Schaefer Jr. just behind them in the Epic Median, number 6, trying to figure out which lane is going to go. Right now, it seems like the bottom lane is the way to go here, as there goes the number 15. That is the R&R Kinsman Auto Salvage entry there with car number 15 of Matthew Barkhouse. Will try to make the pass. Vernon Woodard there battled back through the center of the corner, but into turn 1 he will complete that pass and he will pick up position number 10.
We got a battle for second though. It's Justin Fuller trying to make a move on the outside, gets loose off of turn 2, gets them a little bit of contact as he gets into the right rear of Justin Rigsby. He's going to drop way back, and that's going to allow Guillaume Fortin to slot himself in on that bottom side. He's trying to get himself up into the race lead, and really what we're seeing here is basically a battle for the championship as we see Guillaume Fortin and Justin Fuller trying to go for the top spots.
Yeah, Guillaume has the championship lead here according to our Arts Barbershop Championship standings here on the pro side of things. And then Justin Fuller, he of course has the championship lead when it comes to the Coach's Corner Challenge. So 2 champions right here in their own right now running into the second and third position. Now you see Rodney Hontoon a little high to the outside there on turn number 2. That's going to allow the number 45, Casey Pietti, to sneak down to the bottom side. And here comes the one-time winner to the number 66. Stephen Rochford will now try to make a little bid to the inside. A little damage there on car number 66 to the right front of that nose piece on his car. Now Bill Martin trying to get to the inside. Rodney Hontoon kind of stuck out onto an island right now. Has a small opportunity to get to the inside, and looks like he's going to get stuck to the outside here, because here comes the R&R Kinsman Auto, number 15 of Matthew Barkhouse.
And really for Bill Martin, it seems to be the same case every single week, as he's getting damage to his car, not really caused by him. He's just getting caught up in some accidents. We got a caution now on the racetrack. It seems to be Matt McLean in turn number 4.
Yeah, it looks like this may have stemmed from something a little bit bigger that we didn't quite see. Maybe Michael Trevarthen, Matt McLean, Gary Eschen, and Michael Trevarthen. Trevarthen twice, I guess we'll call him out there. But looks like those are the drivers that may be involved here to bring out the Confusion Performance caution lights for the second time here this evening on lap number 14. Gary Eschen coming straight to pit road. So a lot of damage onto the 23 machine. Let's take a look back here. Let's find the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. No, he goes down in the corner. Gary Eschen gets tapped by the number 12, Brian Rogers. And, hard contact there from Trevarthen into Gary Eschen. And there you see Matt McLean kind of getting sandwiched in car number 88.
And that was one of those situations where trying to save it made things worse, as it looks like he actually got up onto the berm a little bit on the dirt on the inside, and that just kicked that front end back around, sent him back up the racetrack. And unfortunate for Trevarthen, he's just trying to drive along, thinking that 23 is going to spin to the inside, and suddenly he's just got a face full of race car.
Yeah, right on board here. This is on board with Matt McLean. You're going to see the accident start out in front of him. There's Gary Eschen down to the inside. He goes to the high side, and just unfortunately that 23 and the 2 come together, and, well, there he is, collected into this second caution flag of the evening. So Matt McLean with damage on his car. Gary Eschen did come to pit road immediately, coming to pit road, and I do believe he was the only one. Michael Trevarthen now bringing car number 2 also to pit road.
And someone that didn't want to see this caution was Brian Hacker, as he had just kind of checked out from the rest of the field while the drivers behind him were kind of battling for position. So unfortunate for him, his lead is going to get completely wiped out, but I'm sure he was figuring that was going to come at some point. With a track like this, a caution is never far away.
So that will throw our drivers 2x2 once again after the second caution flag of the evening here has flown. We got to thank all the race fans for tuning in out there tonight, watching us live over on our YouTube feed. So we thank you tonight for tuning in. Make sure you hit the bell, smash the like button, get the notifications anytime we do go live with the Upstate Racing League here. This is the 12th season for the asphalt side of things. Of course, the Bartell Builders Big Block Series is back this Sunday night, or at least I do believe after a rain out this past week, Kelly. I know you were a little disappointed in that one.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate, but hopefully we'll be able to get things back on schedule and back the way they're supposed to be. But pace car is now going to pull away. We are going to get back into the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone. Brian Hacker once again in control of the field. He's going to launch early and get a great jump. Guillaume Fortin, not a good start at all, and that's going to allow the 51 to get to the bottom side. He gets a bit of a tag from Justin Rigsby. That's going to send him way up the track, but Fuller going to be able to diamond off the corner and power down, as well as that 13 QC of Guillaume Fortin. So Fortin going to be able to hang on to third place.
Rigsby's kind of been a punching bag there for the 51 the last couple of laps, and now Rigsby going to fall all the way back to the 5th spot because Casey Bietti gets through, and now there goes Bill Martin. He's trying to get through, and now the 31 looks like he's up the speedway down in turns 1 and 2. He'll be sideways off corner number 2. Rigsby now trending into the wrong direction as he is now outside the top 5, and now here comes Matthew Barkhouse. Can he make the run and get to the inside? One driver into the outside wall back there. I believe that was car number 1. That was Dalton Williamson of the BK Paints number 1, along with Mike Alexander in car number 75. Those drivers were into the outside wall out of 4.
Justin Rigsby really needed to force his way down to that bottom side, but now he is just completely stuck on the high side. That's allowing the 15 of Barkhouse to get through. Now here comes the 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. He's going to also try to move himself up, so Justin Rigsby just moving backwards fast, and now there is a huge pack to his inside. There is no way for him to get to that bottom.
We were almost 3 wide that time, down in 1 and 2, as Schaefer left the bottom side open. Roachford thought about taking his number 66 to the inside, wasn't quite able to get there in time, so we didn't go to the 3 wide action here tonight at Stafford. Just ahead of them, there was a little bit of a battle there. Bill Martin, Casey Bietti swap spots, so Bill Martin goes into 4th. Bietti now back into the 5th spot as we continue to watch the number 31 here of Justin Rigsby to the outside. There's the 802 Precision entry, car number 4 of Rodney Hontoon. He gets through Rigsby a little bit sideways, maybe making a little contact there. That is going to be the Justin McDuff entry. Now Rigsby way high down in 1 and 2.
Now taking a look at the front of the field, if the 15 can get around Casey Bietti, that will mean the top 5 in points will be the top 5 in this race, as Matthew Barkhouse currently sitting in 6, just the lone driver outside of that. There's a bit of a 3-car group towards the front. Hacker, Fuller, and Fortin. Fuller is all over that rear bumper of Brian Hacker, and Hacker just trying to keep his line, trying to keep that car pinned to the bottom and not allow any sort of opportunity for that 51 to get underneath him.
We'll be 24 laps into this one. Your top 3 drivers, Hacker, Fuller, Vorton, all 3 of those drivers actually competing on the asphalt side of things this season here with the Upstate Racing League and on the dirt side of things. So 3 drivers out front here competing in that Coach's Corner Challenge standings, but Justin Fuller is the championship leader in that, as his dirt stats this season are, well, substantially better, as they are still nose to tail into turn number 1 they go here. 25 laps now have been completed. Last time by, though, Bill Martin was actually faster than all 3 of the drivers out front here, so that 39 has some damage on his Ford on both front ends, left and front there on car number 39, but it is still one of the fastest cars. Let's take a look this time by at the line, and yeah, he is still 1/10 of a second faster, so he is going to be there in about a lap and a half right on the back front 3's bumper.
As I was saying, it seems like Bill Martin every week gets into some damage that wasn't really caused by himself, but he doesn't let it slow him down, because he has been towards the front in pretty much every single race here this season, with 6 top 10s from 6 starts, and half of those being top 5s.
Not bad for the doctor of Bill Martin. He is now right there on the back end there of the number 13, Guillaume Fortin. So your top 4 drivers are together. Little action back here. Oh, Chris Stump going to go around, and that should bring out the Confusion Performance caution lights, as it is Brett Hahn, Josh Buckley, and I believe that's the 98 Ohio, Chris Stump, all involved here, as Chris Stump down there on the grass. That's not the quick way around, and you can't park down there, so we'll have to take the look back here. What happened? And let's see. There is a 98 Ohio, the 4 Loco Ford Mustang. There you see him, and Brett Hahn goes to the inside. Chris Stump goes down to try and defend, but a late block down. Matt McLean, unfortunately, going to get some damage, and Josh Buckley literally throwing out the anchor there, digging that into the asphalt down there in turn 3. He just stops just in time.
Yeah, so unfortunate, not a great night for the 98 car, as that is the second caution he has been involved in. Still not too bad for damage on that machine. It looks like he's actually cleaner than some of our guys towards the front, namely Bill Martin. Seems like Bill Martin's got a lot more damage than that 98 car, so hopefully Stump will be able to maybe kind of turn things around, as we're still only about not even a third of the way into this race, so still plenty of time.
Still a lot of racing, that is for sure. Another note, though, none of these drivers, you saw Chris Stump and the number 711 of Brett Hahn go around. We do not have an extra set of tires in the pits here tonight at the Stafford Speedway. So these drivers, the tires that they started on are the tires they will have to end on. So with those two drivers making a couple, we'll call them slides around the speedway, their tires are definitely going to be a little more worn than the drivers towards the front of the field here, who have been pacing the field anyway, of Brian Hacker, of Justin Fuller, and Guillaume Fortin. Those drivers, their tires are definitely going to look better towards the end of this race, but there is still a lot of time here tonight to see which one of these drivers are going to be able to save those tires and which one of these drivers are going to heat those tires up and make it a slick and slidey track here tonight at the Stafford Speedway.
So we are going to now get our drivers stacked up once again. Lights are out on the pace car, and this restart is probably going to shake things up a little bit. So we'll have to keep our eyes on the front of the field, as we'll see Brian Hacker. He is going to be in control once more as we get closer to this Hanson Starter Shop restart zone. But watch to see Guillaume Fortin, see if he's going to be able to maybe sneak in on the inside and do what to Justin Fuller, what Fuller did to him that last restart. But here we go. Brian Hacker in control once again, waiting for that go, and he is going to launch off of turn number 4. A little bit of a wheel spin from that 51 car. He's going to try to get himself down to that bottom and close off the 13 QC, and it looks like he may be able to hold off Fortin.
Yeah, it looked for a moment like Guillaume was going to be able to dive it down there in turn number 1, but he was not able to. Your top 4 go single file now here, so that'll leave your first battle back here, Casey Bietti and Matthew Barkhouse. So the youngster versus the veteran here with the series, and a little slap to the outside wall, the Christmas, I believe the Christmas holiday paint scheme on the R&R Kingsman Auto Salvage entry, and as now you see the 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. getting through, and here comes Stephen Roachford. He's going to take a look down to the inside, but it doesn't look like he's going to quite have the run. Maybe will now. It looks like the 15 didn't quite get back to the throttle through the center of the corner.
Yeah, it looks like that bottom line just has a lot more grip throughout the middle of the corner, especially as that is allowing that 66 car to get right around the 15. Now Barkhouse is going to be able to get himself into position, so that's going to pretty much move everyone single file all the way back until Justin McDuff. He's the first car stuck on that high side, as Matt McLean just got, or sorry, that was Matt Eddy, the other 88 car just got by him.
Yeah, the Eddy Performance Solution, number 88, able to get by there. There comes now Mike Alexander. That'll put Justin McDuff to the outside, and that'll put him actually still side-by-side with Mike Alexander. That is Rigsby to the outside also. Oh, Rigsby going to pound the outside wall out of turn 4. He'll go up on the concrete barrier. He's able to save it. Now Brett Hahn going to get turned around in turn number 1.
Still no caution, though, as Brett Hahn turns himself back around in turn number 1. We actually are going to stay green. So Brian Hacker still going to be in control of the field somehow. Still going to have to be fighting off Justin Fuller. So definitely a strange situation, as we had 2 cars facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, let's take a look back here. We have that replay queued already from the truck, and let's watch the 7-11 entry battling. There's the 31 up against the outside wall, and oh, it looks like Scott Austin just makes the left-hand turn, and unfortunately, there was the 7-11 on Brett Hahn. He gets turned around, and that's what put him into the fence there. No caution flag, though. We stay green because everybody was able to gather it back up and keep going.
Yeah, I think if Brett Hahn stayed there for maybe a second or 2 longer, it probably would have thrown the caution, but leaders just weren't quite in threat just yet, so they decided to keep going, and Justin Fuller now still trying to chase down that 11 of Brian Hacker. 40 laps nearly in the books now, and Brian Hacker has led every single one of them, and even with the pressure that Fuller's been able to put on throughout this first couple runs, he's been looking fairly strong in that 11 machine.
Hacker has been holding a pretty wheel. Justin Fuller, though, has been able to pick up one spot to get himself into second. Guillaume's been able to pick up 2 spots here tonight. And Bill Martin, one of the biggest movers, he's picked up 8. He's the biggest mover inside the top 10. You'd have to go all the way back to the 11th spot for Brett Bartels, the Bartel Builders number 2B entry, the driver that came out of the last chance qualifier. He's picked up 11 spots here in the early going, and everybody is now zipper effect down around the bottom side. One driver into the outside wall that time out of 4. That'll be the number 20 of Justin McDuff. He's back there running into the 14th position right now, right behind the number 1 of Dalton Williamson.
And it looks like that 39 of Bill Martin, he's trying to maybe make Guillaume think a little bit as he's kind of stepped out of line a few times, just taking peeks towards the inside. Still not quite close enough to make a move, but maybe close enough to make Guillaume think about it and try to maybe change his lineup a little.
Closing in on halfway home, your top 10 looks like this. It's Brian Hacker, Justin Fuller, Guillaume Fortin, Bill Martin, Casey Bietti, Joe Schaefer Jr., Stephen Rochford, Matthew Barkhouse, Vernon Woodard, and Rodney Hontoon. That is the drivers that right now occupy the top 10 positions here at the Stafford Speedway in the Carpenter's Tax Service 100 for the Best Qualifications Pro Series, presented by the Upstate Racing League. And believe I just saw Ellie Musgrave get up out of the groove as you see her losing another spot. So she lost a spot there to Scott Austin, Michael Trevarthen, and now Chris Stump. So Ellie Musgrave in car number 23 will fall back into the 20th spot. She was +6 on the night after coming through the last chance qualifier. Now finds herself back into the 20th position. Just behind her, Brian Rogers Jr. and Matt McLean battling back here for the 21st and 22nd position, making a little contact there. The Misfit Motorsports number 88 was a little bit sideways. Brian Rogers Jr. in that Lightning McQueen Rusty's number 12. There's Joshua Buckley in the Granny Hips Walkers and Canes entry. He's trying to use the apron a little bit to get that car to rotate.
Yeah, I've been seeing a few drivers, especially through turns 1 and 2, dipping those left side tires down into the apron to try to get their car to turn. And Bill Martin has been doing it quite a bit now, actually just missing that lap around. So he's now going back up onto the racetrack. But a lot of these drivers basically trying to do what we've seen at a few different tracks here this season.
You see on exit there, Brian Hacker using a little bit of that apron, maybe a little bit of a defensive line there for Brian Hacker. Justin Fuller almost got into the back end that time down into turn 1. Contact there from Guillaume. Now Bill Martin going to try to thread the needle. He'll go 3 wide and he'll get 2 for 1 down the back straight away.
Yeah, it looks like Guillaume, after getting into this 51, tried to just let off the throttle and tried to allow the 51 of Fuller to regain it. Bill Martin did not care, though. He was going to go through as soon as he saw his opportunity. Somehow got right between both of those cars. A very risky move, but it is going to pay off for that 39 machine.
Well, you know, the doctor, Bill Martin, always checking up these drivers, and now he is able to sneak through there, so he holds the second spot. Fuller did have a moment there. He did take a look to the inside there, but not able to make anything happen. Bill Martin was able to hold on to that spot. Fuller up the speedway a little bit down in 1 and 2. Looks like he's trying to diamond off the corners. That's what allowed the 13 to get to the inside there momentarily to make that contact. So now Casey Bietti back into the mix here with Joe Schaefer Jr. Brian Hacker now, the biggest race lead he has had this evening as he'll come by this time. He'll complete the halfway portion of this race as he has led all the laps so far. He has a 1-second race lead over Bill Martin down the back straight away.
And he is going to try to hope to maybe open that up a little bit, or maybe at the same time he could just ease off a little, let the gap close, and just kind of take care of the tires, because it is just so hard to pass here that as long as you have at least some decent tires underneath you, you'll probably be able to fend off any sort of move. But we've seen Bill Martin in that 39 car, he is able to just baby those tires. And anytime that it is basically a race of tire saving, it is a race for Bill Martin to win.
Well, we'll find out because we're halfway home in the Carpenter's Tax Service 100 here tonight from the Stafford Motor Speedway. As you see, Justin Fuller still using the apron. Nobody really making any big moves down around the speedway. Sideways for the number 1. That was Dalton Williamson off turn number 2. He was able to hold on to it. There's the 2B of Brett Bartels. He's picked up 11 spots. He's running 15th. Right behind him, the Arts Barbershop number 18 of A.J. Hamill. Hamill also having to come through that last chance qualifier. He has picked up 5 spots here this evening. So Hamill back there in 16th, Scott Austin back in 17th, Michael Trevarthen 18th, Stump back in 19th, and Ellie Musgrave still back here into the 20th position after her little bit of a incident there with Scott Austin and Michael Trevarthen, so that puts her back there. So right now, everybody playing calm as Brian Hacker still has that 1-second race lead down the back straightaway. Can anybody go up there and challenge car number 11?
And that lead has very slightly grown over the last couple laps. Not by much, but we'll see this time as he comes across the line. It was 1.043. It is now 1.074. So just ever so slightly increasing that lead. But he's got to be careful. It may not be worth it because he may just be pushing those tires, getting them hot, getting them worn, and that lead could be wiped out just from a single car getting sideways off the corner.
Something to think about is the tire conservation now. Let it get a little close contact there. That was Mike Alexander out of turn 4 now, or to the outside wall. Now he'll take a bid down to the inside on Matt Eddy in car number 8. The 88 here down the back straightaway. Will he be able to put himself in position to pick up another one? Both those drivers have picked up 6 spots here tonight in the early going, as Matt Eddy's still working the outside, and Mike Alexander will be able to get to the inside just behind them. It looked like A.J. Hamill was taking a bid to the inside of the 2B of Brett Bartels. Not able to do anything with it just yet, but there you see it. Mike Alexander able to get to the inside, and he will take that spot here. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when he finally gets that car completely clear to car number 88, and it looks like Dalton Williamson trying to come with.
Yeah, as soon as someone is able to open up a gap, you just have to follow that other driver through, because it's really the best opportunity you're going to get to just gain any sort of position here on this track, because it is just so hard to pass, and it is definitely a one-lane track here this evening. And that mile going back towards the front, though, that lead is starting to shrink a little bit. Bill Martin is starting to turn things around. It is now 0.936 between Hacker and Martin.
As you see Eddie continue to lose positions. Now there comes the number 2B. Brett Bartels will take the bid to the inside, and that's the battle then for the 14th and 15th position on the speedway. Joe Schaefer Jr. also locked in a little bit of a battle. Oh, A.J. Hamill going to climb the wall down the front straightaway. That Arts Barbershop entry got to pound the outside wall, but he will actually be able to, looks like he will clear the 88 of Matt Eddy. Matt Eddy going to concede that position. Joe Schaefer Jr. was in the battle there with Casey Pietti momentarily, but was able to hold off and defend that spot. So he holds that spot here as we stay green on lap number 62 here tonight at Stafford.
Bill Martin still slowly working on catching back up to Brian Hacker. As I've mentioned before, Bill Martin really good at saving the tires, and this may be where it's his time to shine. As we're now on to the back half of this race, these guys are going to be a little bit worn out, and his cars are a little bit beat up, especially that 39 car, but it's not seeming to affect him in any way, as he's now closed down 2/10. It's now just 0.8 between Hacker and Martin.
How much do you think it hurts Bill Martin weekly to come out here and scrape up a couple of these cars? You know he's a designer himself and spends a lot of time in the paint booth for these things.
Yeah, he does definitely spend a lot of time painting them, but I don't think he minds getting them scratched up too much as long as he gets a good result out of it. And each week he has, even though his cars have come back a little bit banged up and needing a respray.
Wonder if he makes himself one of those race versions occasionally here, because I'd like to see one of them. But right now, Bill Martin still hanging out there in second, picking up 10 spots. So double-digit spots for Bill Martin being picked up here tonight. It'll be 65 officially completed. Everybody's still single file trying to feel out. Oh, one driver missing the cue down there in turn number 3. That'll be Justin McDuff. He'll go up the speedway. Is able to hold on to that spot because Bartels is just a little bit farther back there. Now you see Bartels. A lot of these drivers starting to work that diamond effect here tonight at Stafford, and we'll see if that's something that maybe with the tires going away, or maybe they're trying to save tires a little bit and not use the apron as much. That's mainly down there in turns 1 and 2, because 3 and 4, they're still right wrapped around the bottom.
There's definitely some of them that are trying to diamond it a little bit, but there's some drivers that are definitely missing their braking points into turn number 1 and sailing way up the racetrack. And that's just overworking that right front, because they're having to turn it in harder and brake a little bit further whilst trying to steer. And that is just completely damaging that right front tire. But speaking of these tires, Bill Martin now half a second to Brian Hacker, and he is pulling away from Justin Fuller and Guillaume Fortin, who are still nose to tail a little bit behind him, but now they're pretty much a second back from second place Bill Martin.
Battle back here. Rodney Hontoon missed the corner down in 1 and 2. That's going to allow Mike Alexander to get to the inside. Here comes Dalton Williamson. So Williamson trying to... Oh, Bartels into the outside wall that time off turn number 4. A.J. Hamill sideways into 1. He tried to get down to the inside and now break the 2B. And, well, he'll get there side by side. A.J. Hamill, Brett Bartels, but that was not without A.J. Hamill being completely sideways to the inside down into turn number 1. Now you see him out of turn 2. It's going to be the drag race. Oh, Bartel's going to pound the outside wall. He'll make the beeline for the pit road.
He is sent down to the grass. That is going to keep the green flag out. We are not going to see a caution as he slowly works his way back onto the racetrack, trying to keep control of it and keep it down on the apron, but that is going to lose a ton of ground as he comes out right behind. Looks like that was Ellie Musgrave, so that's going to move him down all the way to 23rd.
Yeah, so from 14th to 23rd on that miscue as well. We'll see how far he can rebound, because right behind him, the last car that's on the lead lap, that'll be the 7-11 of Brett Hahn. So race leaders are bearing down on that 7-11 entry there. Brett, of course, having some major issues here tonight, wrapped up in a couple of wrecks this evening, which gave him so much damage, but we're closing in on just 25 laps to go here tonight at the Stafford Speedway. Brian Hacker, Bill Martin, Justin Fuller, Guillaume Fortin, and Joe Schaefer Jr. still the top 5 drivers.
Yeah, expect things to heat up here as we get towards this last quarter of the race. You may see some drivers start to try to move others out of the way and improve their positions before time runs out. But as we've seen, pretty much everyone is trying to stay on that bottom side, so the opportunity might just be to have to make a move.
One driver just made a move. That'll be the 20 of Justin McDuff underneath the 73 of Vernon Woodard. Woodard now in the Stan RC Speedway, number 73, falling back into the 12th position. AJ Hamill will start to close in on the back of car number 73. We'll see if he's able to make the pass, and how much tire does AJ Hamill have left on his 18 entry, because he's been sideways and in the wall, and well, he's just been absolutely all over the place. I think he was a little confused, which is what put him into the fence line a couple times here this evening. There's not too many cars that have not scraped the outside wall, though, here tonight. Maybe a race leader of Brian Hacker, who is now has, a 2-car length gap to the second place machine.
Yeah, at most, Hacker has maybe brushed that wall just ever so slightly. For the most part, that 11 car is completely clean. He has taken very good care of it. Question is, how much care is he taking for his tires? Because Bill Martin has closed up that gap. He is right on top of him, and with now 24 laps to go, there's still plenty of time for the doctor to make a move.
Well, let's see what kind of medicine he can prescribe to the Brian Hacker entry. Of course, Brian Hacker, a brand new dad to the fatherhood, so welcome, Brian, and we hope the little one's doing well out there, maybe ready to replace you in the sim rig. We'll see how that works out, but Brian Hacker still the race leader as they work across the start-finish line. Once again, a little scrape there, maybe to the outside. You see Bill Martin go into the corner. He'll try and diamond it off and rocket ship down the pack straight away. Hacker, though, will boot, scoot, and boogie away just a little bit.
Yeah, that definitely did not seem like the best line for Bill Martin, as we saw Hacker just having a better run through the middle of the corner. There's just so much more grip to that bottom side, and it's just a much better line to run. Yeah, that time to 39, keeping it nice and tucked. Now looking at a few spots back, there's a battle for fourth as now Guillaume Fortin, he's lost the ground to Joe Schaefer Jr. Schaefer is just going to be able to sneak right underneath that 13 QC.
A veteran move there by Joe Schaefer Jr. and a veteran move by Guillaume. Guillaume just conceded the position. He knew there was a little bit of a distance, a little bit of a gap back there. He was able to slot in front of Casey Bietti, who has kind of lost touch with the top 4 drivers here. So now Guillaume, or the top 5 drivers, Guillaume will just slot there himself into that spot. As with 20 laps to go when they come by this time, it's Brian Hacker, Bill Martin, Justin Fuller, Joe Schaefer Jr., and Guillaume Fortin.
Now we're seeing Brett Bartels actually is going to be a little further back as he got passed by Brett Hahn, it seems. Now Ellie Musgrave is now losing ground to that 7-11 car as the leaders starting to close in on them.
Yes, lap traffic is going to become a factor. There you see Bartels. There you see Hacker. Maybe about call it 2 tractor-trailer lengths maybe is the distance between first and the last car on the lead lap of Brett Bartels. So lap traffic is going to become a factor here tonight. We're going to see how your race leader, Brian Hacker and Bill Martin, are going to be able to handle lap traffic. If you're Bill Martin, do you go after Brian Hacker here and hope to get him before lap traffic, or maybe hope that lap traffic's going to hold him up and make him make a mistake?
Lap traffic is most likely going to try to get out of the way and stay high on one of these corners, so it's not really, I don't think it's going to really present an opportunity for Bill Martin. We normally see in this league that the lap traffic will just try to make as little impact as possible on the leaders. But, Bill Martin diving it down into turn 1, locking the brakes up a little bit as he slid to the inside of turn number 1 there.
Yeah, he was to the inside. He almost got the quarter panel there of the Carbon Junction entry, number 11 of Brian Hacker. So that's going to heat the tires up on Bill Martin. It might take a lap or 2 for those tire temperatures to come back down so he can make another bid at that race lead. It looked like he was trying to get there before that lap traffic possibly could have been the strategy there, but now he's fallen back about a car length. 2 car lengths now down the back straightaway they go. As you see Brian Hacker wrap the bottom side of the speedway, hacking it up here tonight. Bartels will be the first car that he is going to get to, possibly down here into turns 3 and 4, as you see him right now down around the bottom side. Bill Martin with a big charge through the center of 1 and 2.
Yeah, but that killed his speed coming off of the corner, and with the decent length straightaways that we've got here at Stafford, that really cost him as he lost some ground. Now Bartel is going to move out of the way. He's going to stay high and up the racetrack. That's actually going to force Martin to have to take a bit shallower of an entry and maybe burn up that right front just a little bit more, but he's still trying to hang on to the 11 of Brian Hacker, who is just doing whatever he can to stay ahead.
Ellie Musgrave now in car number 23. She'll go a lap down. She'll go to the outside and give the drivers the inside space that they need. This is treacherous times with just 13 laps to go. Now there's some clear room out in front of the race leader. Bill Martin right on the tail, about a half a straightaway, almost a full straightaway actually, down there from now the 11 of Brian Hacker to the 7-11 of Brett Hahn, who's running into the 22nd position. The last car on the lead lap. It'll be 12 to go this time by. Joe Schaefer Jr. thought about taking a bid to the inside, but he will not. He'll fall back behind car number 51 of Justin Fuller, so he'll hold on to the 4th position.
Yeah, it's looking like Schaefer Jr. has maybe saved his tires just a little bit better than Fuller. He's kind of holding that bottom side just a bit better and lunging forward, especially off the corner, so he may have an opportunity to dive to that inside line. And speaking of making a move to the inside, Bill Martin is all over the rear bumper of Brian Hacker, and he's taking a few peeks to the inside as well.
He has, but he has not been able to make it work, and it looks like Brett Bartels will now move to the inside of Ellie Musgrave. He'll pick up the 23rd spot, but this time by, put 2 hands in the air because it'll be 10 laps to go here tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway, just 10 more times around. Bill Martin that time, another great run through the center, but killed off the corner. Let's see if he can rally back in. It'll be 9 to go this time by for Brian Hacker, Bill Martin, Justin Fuller, Joe Schaefer Jr.
Yeah, Martin has got to try to figure something out. He can't just keep running the same line as Brian Hacker is. It's just kind of getting him right up to the rear bumper off of turns number 2 and 4, but then just there's just nowhere for him to go, and he has to kind of lift off and kill his own run off the corner. So maybe we'll have to see if he's going to try to diamond something down and try to make a move to the inside coming off the corner.
Everybody else right now still single file here. Remember, though, it is going to be Brett Bartels in the hot seat. If there were a caution flag here late in this one, he would get the lucky dog. I know Brett Hahn right now would like to see a caution flag, or he would at least like to get around the 13 MA of Joshua Buckley. 7 laps to go. Brian Hacker would like to see this one just run it out and let the cards fall where they will. 2 very experienced and veteran drivers towards the front of the field here, and we'll see if the 3-tap Teddy rule does come into effect. We're in the Northeast, of course. That 3-tap Teddy rule, the first time, hey. Second time, hey, I'm here. Third time, I'm probably coming through you. 6 laps to go. We'll see if that comes into play.
Thing is, though, Bill Martin hasn't even made contact with the rear bumper of that 11 car of Brian Hacker. Hacker's been able to keep himself just barely out of touch of that 39 car. So Bill Martin going to have to try to close up that gap a little more if he even wants to try to use the bumper to move him out of the way.
This time by, 5 fingers waving at him as they come by. It's the Hi, how are you? 5 laps to go here tonight at Stafford. The drivers out in front of them, Brett Hahn and Joshua Buckley, were battling there for that final spot on the lead lap. Now Brett Hahn will go to the outside here to try to get around the 13 MA of Joshua Buckley. He wants to get away from the race leaders, and now Bill Martin going to slip out of 4. Here comes Justin Fuller.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact between Hacker and Martin that time coming off of turn number 4, and that caused Bill Martin to kind of check way up, and now that's an opportunity for Justin Fuller. He's going to move to the inside of the 39, comes through turns 3 and 4. Fuller trying to move himself up into second place, try to get himself a few points for over Guillaume Fortin. They're still battling, and Martin's going to go sideways.
Bill Martin sideways down there. Justin Fuller going to move the 39. Martin now has hot tires and can't do anything with it. Now he's going to go around sideways. Drift King. Caution lights on the speedway.
And that is going to end our race. So congratulations to Brian Hacker. He holds on through a gauntlet as he leads all 100 laps and pretty much contested for each one of those laps.
That caution flag, Kelly, actually just came out maybe 50 feet before. We're going to go green-white checker, I do believe. I think I saw them already wind the laps back here. So that is going to be very interesting here.
Yeah, so that is going to provide an opportunity for these drivers to maybe make another shot at it. Justin Fuller is going to have a chance. He looked to have some speed along with Joe Schaefer Jr., but the thing is, Fuller is going to be starting on the outside on this last restart.
Boy, oh boy, this is definitely worth the price of admission here. There you saw the replay back. Bill Martin getting a little contact there from Casey Bietti, and he's going to drift that one completely. That wheel was absolutely cranked on the number 39. Wish we had an actual in-home camera on the 39 of Bill Martin, because that one was just crazy. Watch it back here from the front straightaway. There's the contact going in the corner, and you see how he's just got the wheel cocked completely. Doesn't even touch the outside wall and just puts his right foot right back into it. So he'll lose some spots, and does look like they are going to slot him back into the 6th position, I do believe.
I think that is going to be where it's going to slot him in. He is going to lose the spot to Casey Bietti, because they threw that caution just as Bietti had passed Martin, who was sliding up the racetrack, and I'm sure he's thankful for the caution just to be able to cool off those tires a little bit.
So when we go back racing here, to be a green, white checker is how this will line up tonight. It'll be Brian Hacker, Justin Fuller, Joe Schaefer Jr., Guillaume Fortin, Casey Bietti, Bill Martin, Stephen Rothfort, Matthew Barkhouse, Mike Alexander, Dalton Williamson will be your top 10 drivers here. Race control trying to sort everybody out. Looks like Brett Bartels was the lucky dog, so the Bartel Builders 2B entry will get the lucky dog, and he will be able to tag the back of the field, the driver out of Spirit Lake, Iowa. Ellie Musgrave, unfortunately, she got passed by Brett Bartel, so she will stay one lap down into 24th position. She is now going to be the driver that is on the bubble here in the lucky dog position.
I think this will be the only attempt at a green-white checkered, so unfortunately she's not going to have another chance at a lucky dog. So definitely unfortunate for Ellie Musgrave, who was having a fairly decent run before kind of getting tagged at one point and getting shuffled towards the back of the field.
So now the official iRacing.com pace car lights are off, so the Confusion Performance caution flag will come to an end here. Remember to be Hacker, Fuller, Fortin, Schaefer, your top 4 drivers, your first 2 rows here. And the gloves are definitely going to be off here now tonight in the Carpenter's Tax Service. Well, 100 plus whatever we need to finish this one off. So an extended race here. The iRacing.com pace car is down and off the racing surface. Back into the Hanson starter shop zone here. It'll be Brian Hacker, the first one to fire, and he fires great. 51 of Fuller, maybe a little wheel spin there. 2 laps to go.
Fuller going to go down to the inside just to guard the position. That's going to cause him to shuffle up. He's going to get Brian Hacker. Hacker's going to get turned around. Caution flag is going to fly, and the night is going to end like this.
Wow. Fuller up against the outside wall. Brian Hacker, who led every lap here, now will get shunned from the race lead, and it looks like it'll be Guillaume Fortin, Bill Martin, and Joe Schaefer unofficially. We will watch that back down into the corner and see what exactly happened. That is going to be the Carpenter's Tax Service white flag, so this race will end after that crash right there. Let's watch it back here. Justin Fuller goes all the way down to the inside, gets the inside grass and clips the inside quarter panel there, the number 11. And then Fuller tried to hammer back in, and unfortunately he was locked into it with Williamson there. And he is going to get wrecked into the outside wall himself. Watch it back there. You already see the 51 of Fuller into Brian Hacker, and around Hacker goes 360.
Yeah, and you really got a feel for Brian Hacker, who just essentially ran a fairly flawless race. He was running very strong, led every single lap until just that final lap where he got turned around.
So that would put Guillaume Fortin as your race winner. As you see him, Bill Martin, Joe Schaefer Jr., they will park here on the front straightaway, and we will get a word in with those drivers as soon as we come back from a commercial break. So an exciting finish here to the Carpenter's Tax Service 100. It's Guillaume, it's Bill Martin, it's Joe Schaefer Jr. Unofficially, race fans, that is your top 3 finishing order. We'll be back here to Stafford after this.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Well, welcome back, race fans, here to the Stafford Motor Speedway after an exciting race here tonight in the Carpenter's Tax Service 100 here for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series presented by the Upstate Racing League. We have the unofficial top 3 drivers standing by here tonight. All positions here tonight frozen at the end of this race, and it will be looked at by race control from what I'm being told. So unofficially, we're head down trackside here. Kelly, I believe you caught up with our winner.
Yeah, caught up now with Guillaume Fortin, and Guillaume, I'm sure that's not the way you expected this one to finish. Kind of maybe run us through that, what you saw on that last lap.
Yeah, I mean, I saw smoke, and I was a little bit mad at the start when I saw that I was starting outside because I'm no good on the outside at this place. But looking at the way that this race ended, I'm happy that I started outside for that last restart.
And that is definitely going to help you a little bit more with your points lead, but still Bill Martin right behind you. You think this is what's going to be the story throughout the rest of the season, is just kind of you and Bill Martin going at it in the points?
Yeah, Fuller was right there with us, but with that finish, I think he's going to go down a little bit in the points. But damn, Bill is always following me. He's still faster than me a little bit tonight, but I'm glad that I can get some points and build my lead up front.
Well, just a few more races left here in the season. Next, we're going to be going a couple weeks from now to Irwindale Speedway, and what are you kind of expecting from that track?
I have no clue, because as we saw last year, it was like a four wide track, so I really don't know with the last update that we got with iRacing how Irwindale is going to be. But usually I'm pretty good there, so I'm really looking forward to that race.
Well, Guillaume, thank you so much for coming out and talking to us. Before we let you go, though, who would you like to thank for getting you up towards the front here?
Yeah, first of all, I have to thank my sponsor, Head Absolution, and Al, and also AJ for putting this league, and you guys for broadcasting.
All right, thank you very much, Guillaume, and hopefully we'll hear from you in a couple weeks' time in Irwindale.
Thank you, Kaylee.
Now to send it back to Roger Muth with an unusually quiet Bill Martin.
Bill, can you hear us here tonight?
Maybe.
Well, Bill, an exciting one for you out there from the drop of the green flag on lap number 1 here tonight. Walk us through your adventurous night here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
I ain't walking you through crap. I don't have a voice.
All right, well, I'll let you know. You finished second here tonight. How's the car?
Good.
Virtually good. All right, Robert Butterfield out there going, holy cow, here tonight, tuning in tonight to watch that 39 machine. Talk about at least the ending of this one. A little bit exciting. I believe we call you the doctor. We might call you DK after this.
Well, I felt lucky I got through the two, Guillaume and Justin, when they hit each other. Woo! This is awesome. And then I was trying to run Hacker down, but I couldn't really do it. And then, I finally caught up to him, and everyone caught up to us. Decided to play it defensive, be damned, and kind of got bit for it. And then it ended up working out anyways, so yay.
So a good finish here. We know you're under the weather once again here, Bill, so we won't make you struggle through and give your normal, typical 10-minute spiel of how your night went. We've seen it all out there pixelated on the stream here tonight. So, Bill, congratulations. We know you're going to still carry that second-place banner in the point standings after this one. So anybody on the side of this, number 39, though, you got to thank.
Al. Thanks. AJ, thanks. Hey, McDuff, thanks. Hey, you guys, thanks. Hey, Joe, who's in the room with us right now. No thanks. Just kidding, thanks. Good job, Guillaume. Sorry to Brian. I was rooting for him because I was very happy with second. So that ending sucked. But, bye.
There you hear it, Bill Martin under the weather here tonight, but still driving like a madman and drifting after that save to bring out the green-white checker here tonight. Bill Martin will actually rally back to finish in P number 2. So congratulations to Bill Martin to stick his nose to the grindstone and keep going here tonight. Kelly, I believe you're standing by with somebody who had a little bit less adventurous of an evening.
I don't know about that. Caught up now with Joe Schaefer Jr., and you started in 14th, made it all the way up to 3rd. People were saying that it was going to be a hard track to pass at, but you made 11 spots. I mean, how did you kind of go about getting your slow climb up to the front?
Well, I think I kind of got lucky. I had a lot of those restarts on the high side, and that is not preferred. Was able to force my way down a couple times, and thankfully we got some green flag laps here, so I could save tires, and with about 40 to go, I caught up to G and stuffed it under him, and then started running down Fuller, was looking for every way to get around him to put myself into 3rd place. Couldn't do it. But yeah, it was a lot of work, and it's amazing how much more fun it is when you just run green the whole night.
Yeah, and it seemed like to be a bit of a race for tire saving as well. How bad were your tires by the end of that, and how did the car feel?
I had plenty left. If this would have been 125 laps, I would have liked my chances a lot more. Feel bad for Hacker, though. Same thing kind of happened to me earlier this year at Southern National, and it sucks. But there's one thing I can say about this season, though. If I can at least finish the race, chances are I'm talking to you guys afterwards. So it all evens out, I guess.
Yeah, I believe you're kind of right here. I'm seeing 3 top 10s, and each one of those has been a top 5. And so basically, as long as you can get to the end here, you will be here with us. And you think you're going to be talking to us again in a couple weeks in Irwindale?
Man, I hope so. I think I'm going to. I got a few iffy finishes stacked up, so we'll see what the handicap does for me in terms of starting spot next week. But I don't know. I think if we can get green flag laps in, and I can take care of my tires for the first half of the race, and just be there for the second half, I like my odds for the rest of the schedule. This was kind of the last question mark, I thought, for me. But other than that, man, I guess I'm excited for the rest of the tracks, and hopefully we can get racing like this the rest of the way.
Well, Joe, thanks for taking the time to come over here and talk to us. Before we let you go, though, who would you like to thank for your run here tonight?
Yeah, I'll start by thanking Mr. Voiceless, Dr. Noise Paints and Custom Diecast. Just looking at my car on the replay reminds me every week that I can't do the whole art thing, so having somebody do it for me is really nice. Also, Epic Media, Drew Krybeck, still for years now supporting me and watching me. And thanks to you guys for putting on the show, and Al and AJ Al for running the league, and AJ for stepping in his absence tonight.
All right, well, that was Joe Schaefer Jr. Congratulations once again on your 3rd place run here tonight. Hopefully we'll see you in Irwindale, but now we're going to send it back to Roger Muth to close out the night.
Yeah, crazy night here tonight at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Guillaume Fortin in the right spot here tonight, and he will pick up the big W. Bill Martin picking up 10 spots for second. Joe Schaefer Jr. picking up 11 spots here tonight. He will be the biggest mover and shaker also, and he finishes in third. Casey Bietti will finish fourth. Matthew Barkhouse back there in fifth. Stephen Rochfort was sixth. Mike Alexander was seventh. Dalton Williamson into the 8th spot. Justin McDuff in 9th, and A.J. Hamill from the last chance qualifier into the 10th and final position in the top 10. Those are all unofficial results here tonight at Stafford after a very crazy finish to the Carpenter's Tax Service 100. What a way to bring in the new year of racing here with the Upstate Racing League. A new format and, well, an absolutely crazy one to start things off here. Next week, though, we are off for a 1-week hiatus in the 2023 calendar year. That's because yours truly will be down at the Chili Bowl in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So unfortunately, Kelly, unless you want to call all the shots next week, we're going to be off.
I believe we're going to be off then.
Well, there you heard it, race fans. We're off next week. The next time we do come back live action with the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series, we'll be out in sunny California at the Irwindale Speedway for the Stand RC Speedway 100 from the Irwindale Speedway. So, well, Guillaume Fortin picks up the big win. Bill Martin is second. Joe Schaefer is third. That's going to about do it here from the Stafford Motor Speedway here tonight, race fans. That's Kelly Dahl. I'm Roger Mew. Thank you for watching the Upstate Racing League with the Best Colorful Creations and the Carpenter's Tax Service. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show here virtually from the Stafford Speedway. Until we see you in 2 weeks, though, race fans, everybody stay safe, and we'll see you in turn 3.